All right, I think we're live here. Let me just double check on a couple of different platforms that we are live. Internet is a little choppy. Um, Boom. Okay, we are live. We're live there on Instagram, live on, not live on YouTube yet. One second here. I want to make sure that I'm live. And I think, let me double check Facebook. Let's see if we are live on Facebook. Yep, we are live on Facebook. Let's check one more time on YouTube. I should be live on YouTube already, even though internet is a little bit slow. All right, cool. I think I am live on YouTube. Cool, I am. Just needed to double check. All right, I'm David Jeremiah. It is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. 5:02 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm still currently in Tualatin, Oregon, and I will be here for uh, another 12 full days because I fly out on the 16th of September back to Phoenix, Arizona, where I will be for the next 2 months on a house sitting assignment. It's either going to be my 20th for sure or my 21st house sitting assignment. I'll be there for 2 months. And then I go to San Diego at the very beginning of December, um, where I will be for 2.5 months, so just shy of 3 months. And then that's all she wrote, folks. Then I get to officially retire from house and pet sitting. I'll be going back and home basing out of the East Valley in Arizona. And I'll still be traveling quite a bit, but I will be primarily operating out of there. I for sure ain't going to be there for the summertime. I'm out. That 2 summers in the valley is too many for me. If you want my opinion, it is too hot to stay there year round, in my opinion. So, which is which is why I'm glad that I enjoy traveling and plan on being nomadic, somewhat. Anyways, I wanted to hop on live here real quick. I'm on day 2 of my 101 day challenge, and there's a lot of things I'll be talking about in the next 101 days about the challenge and the different aspects of what I'm doing and for 101 days. One of the things that I'm doing for my challenge is a I'm at 5 minutes. So I don't know how this is going to play out. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing these live streams too, is so I can get more comfortable with the software and more comfortable with using these different tools because by nature, uh, being techie is not one of my skill sets. And so it's a learning process for me. And I'm trying to have fun with it and not go crazy because I tend to have, more patience with people. I'm pretty good with people. But when it comes to technology, I just want to break them. I want to break computers and printers because they should work all the time. And so it's a real exercise of patience trying to work with software and hardware. For me, it is at least. Anyways, since I've been back here for about a month, a little over a month now, I've been able to reconnect with things that the vision that I had shortly after getting out of grad school, right when I started noticing people didn't really have a clear sense of vision and purpose for their lives. And I started to get to work. And the vision, the solution for that, because that's all entrepreneurship is. Being a business owner, an entrepreneur is basically identifying a problem that people are having, and then you solve the problem, whether that's through a product that you create or a service that you provide. That's the essence of a business. Find a need and fill the need. That's the business in a nutshell. And so the need that I saw from a lot of people was people just did not have a strong sense of urgency to get up every morning. They weren't. I learned this primarily because I was driving for Uber and Lyft for about 3.5 years before I moved to Arizona. And what I noticed in people is I was taking a lot of people to airports. I was picking them up from the airport. I was taking them to school, to work, and I would just have these conversations with people and just trying to get to know them briefly. And most people were just not inspired to go to work, to get up every morning. But there was a very small amount of people, like a handful of people out of thousands and thousands and thousands of conversations that I had with people. There were a small handful of people that knew exactly what they wanted to do in life. And even if they weren't already doing it, they were on their way to doing it. Those people were completely different. They stand out like as clear as day to me in my mind because they were genuinely excited about life. Even if they weren't actually doing the thing that they really know that they want to be doing, they're on the way. They're like, "Oh, yep, I'm not doing it yet, full time. I'm on my way there, but I can't wait until I get to that point where every single day this is what I'm doing. But in the meantime, this is what I'm doing to get myself there. It's awesome, this and that." Whereas most of the people that I came across were just not that way, and they were really kind of like depressed and just not really inspired to get up every morning and to do what they have to do every day throughout the day. I started developing the solution for this, and it took the form of an educational platform. Because if we are going to achieve this vision, this purpose that we have in our lives, if we are able to do the work to first clarify what that vision is for our lives, our ideal life, if we're going to even have a chance at successfully realizing that, or even taking a crack at it, we have to have different skill sets. We have to acquire skills. Skills. It's important to have the vision, but then we have to actually have the skills that enable us to get going in that direction to be able to do the thing that we want to do, or to do the things that we want to do. So, like I said, the solution that I saw ended up taking the form of an educational platform. I did a tremendous amount of work around this, research, study, all this stuff. And a couple years ago, when I moved to Arizona, I walked away from it. There were some other things that were more of a priority in my life at the time. And to be quite honest, I didn't have the courage and the belief in myself that I could actually pull off this vision that I saw, this educational platform. Fast forward to today, I've been clarifying the vision over the past couple of weeks that I've been here in Tualatin, Oregon, when I first um, visualized this idea for a business, and ultimately this the solution to this really human problem. You know what I mean? At some point or another, hopefully, you people will go through the work and spend a little bit of time on asking the pretty tough questions like, why are we here? Why am I here? What's the meaning of my life? What's the purpose? Do I have a purpose? Is there such thing as purpose? And start asking and grappling with those questions for themselves. But now that I've been back clarifying the vision for what I want to build, I'm committing to building it And on top of that, finally have the belief that I actually can do this. The reason why I'm documenting this journey right now is because this is from 2014 when I had this vision when I was in graduate school. When this idea that I wish a very successful serial entrepreneur documented their journey from the beginning when they started with nothing, and then they basically shared a lot of what they're doing throughout the day. Even if it's mundane, if they just document it in a form of like a vlog, pretty much what I'm doing right now, because I think that there's a tremendous amount of value in that. People can relate to it more, especially people who are just getting started, who may or may not know how to get going, who, may be, dealing with some limiting beliefs and just some fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success. And so I thought, well, if that was super successful in business, like Elon Musk level, like just straight up a titan, right? Imagine if this person would have left breadcrumbs, left a trail from the very beginning where they started at the bottom of the mountain when they had nothing. And they're like, hey, imagine Elon Musk when like the world didn't even know who he was. If he documented in video format, was like, hey, I'm Elon Musk. I'm 15 or 16 years old or 17 or whatever. And I have this idea for something and I'm going to just start trying and building it and seeing what happens, and or hey, I'm Elon Musk and I got this vision for electric cars or rocket ships or whatever. And it's great because like if nobody knew him and he had that documentation, people can actually, in my opinion, people would really be able to be inspired by that to take action, not just to be inspired to be like, wow, that's cool, and okay, next, keep scrolling, or flip the channel or whatever, just completely like let it exit their minds, but enough inspiring enough to where people want to take action for themselves on their own vision and their own dreams and their own goals in life. And so that's the whole purpose of what I'm doing here now. I am being the person who I wish somebody already was. And I'm sure there are successful entrepreneurs that have documented, their journeys to some degree. There's a few that come to mind. I think Pat Flynn did a little bit of documentation, and Gary Vee, which is great. But I'm actually talking about like behemoth, like Elon Musk status, Jeff Bezos status, Steve Jobs status, like John Rockefeller, like absolute titans, because then people can see, okay, well, this is what's really possible. Or not even just entrepreneurs, but athletes. Imagine if Michael Jordan, when he was like in high school and got cut, and he was able to document, man, I just got cut from the high school basketball team. I feel like crap, but I'm not going to give up. And I'm just going to work harder now. I mean, that kind of stuff has the ability to really inspire people to action. And that's one of the things that I'm after in documenting and sharing, what I'm doing in my entrepreneurial journey, as well as my health and fitness journey. And what I'll be doing in the days to come and talking a lot about it is sharing my own goals, because I'm very big on people taking a crack, and not just taking a crack, but like relentlessly taking shots, keep swinging for the fences and setting big goals and keep on going for it. This is one of the best books on how to frame things in your mind and how to set big, bold, audacious goals. And that's 10x is easier than 2x by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I've read this book quite a few times, and I finally decided to buy the print version. I have it already in Kindle and audio, but I want to actually write and turn the pages and earmark them and tag them, highlight them. But anyways, I'll be as a service. I hope to other people to inspire other people, because to set big 10x goals, I'll be sharing my goals in the top areas of my life, so people can see how crazy I am, in setting some big goals. Yesterday, um, I shared some of my health and fitness goals. And what's funny is when I first thought about these goals a couple of months ago, when I was really trying to push myself to think big and to set big goals, um, I was a little hesitant to do it. But then I started working up the courage to, just saying, you know what, who cares? Just what are the goals that are really going to drive you? So I started having the courage to think bigger and to dream bigger and to set bigger goals that, and the more I set and the higher I aimed and setting bigger goals, the more excited and inspired I got. And these same the goals that I've set in the different categories of my life, you know, most people are gonna be like, dude, that's crazy. I would never want to do that. But that's fine because those are my goals. Those are the goals that are going to get me to do the work. Those are the goals that get me up out of bed every morning and into bed every night because I know that I need to get my rest so I can get up and continue pursuing my goals over and over and over again because now I have the clear vision of what I want in regards to my health and fitness, in regards to finances and career, in regards to marriage and family, recreation, things like I have the vision and it's getting clearer and clearer in my mind as if it already exists. And that fuels me to continue going. That also cultivates the fire in the belly. That's an entrepreneurial term that I've heard many, many times from very successful business people. It's that fire in the belly, the thing that really drives you, that you don't need to rely on external motivation. You don't need people to force you to do it. Hey, you should go. Didn't you say you were going to read? Or hey, didn't you say you were going to study? When you have the fire in the belly, it comes from having a very clear and compelling vision that drives you so that you don't need to rely on other people. Nobody has to push you. Nobody has to force you. In fact, not only does do people not have to force you like your closest friends and family, not only do they not have to force you and remind you and prod you to do the work, but oftentimes they actually have to prod you and like force you to stop doing the work because you're getting a little too intense and a little too obsessed. And to me, in my opinion, I'd rather have the latter happen where I'm too obsessed and people have to remind me like, hey bro, you're you're getting too consumed with your goals and with your work, man. You gotta start making time for balance. You gotta make time for recreation, and not, overwork yourself because you're just too all in on this. I'd rather have that than the other where I'm not driven at all because I know how that feels. I've lived that in and out over the past decade and it is not, it's a waste of a life, in my opinion. So, anyways, I'm going to be sharing my goals, the big crazy goals. In fact, I was just telling my stepdad, I'm here in Oregon for 2 more weeks, or a little bit less than 2 more weeks. And he was an athlete, even into his adult years. And so I just mentioned to him in passing, I was having lunch this morning and or brunch before getting to work, and I mentioned two of my goals. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I set 10x goals, and over the course of 10 years, that helps me to know where I'm aiming. And he's like, oh yeah, well, what are your goals for athletics? Like health and fitness. I was like, oh, I'm going to compete in two Summer Olympics, 2028. I'm going to compete in Los Angeles, the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, and I'm going to compete in 2032, Brisbane, Australia, Summer Olympics in the sport of modern pentathlon. I just found out about the modern pentathlon and what it was earlier this year. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm setting big goals. I've not even trained or even done any of these sports. Modern pentathlon is fencing, swimming. I think swimming like 200-meter freestyle swim, running a 2 mile run, pistol shooting, and it used to be the traditional modern pentathlon is also like horse jumping. But for the first time in the sports history in the Olympics in 2028, it's actually going to be the Ninja Warrior obstacle course. These are sports that I've never done before. But one of the things that you hear in this book is from Dr. Benjamin Hardy is you set the goal first. The goal determines the process. And oftentimes if you're setting 10x goals, you're setting excuse me. Excuse me. You're setting the right 10x goals because you don't currently possess the skills to do it. I don't even know how I'm going to go to the Olympics, but I know I'm setting my goals to go to the Olympics. I'm going to compete there. And I'm going to represent either American Samoa or maybe the sovereign Samoa, or another country. Who knows? Because I do plan on acquiring more dual citizenships. That's part of another area of my life, like more hobby and professional and personally related goals, is acquiring multiple citizenships. And permanent residencies in different countries. I learned a lot about that from the Nomad Capitalist, who has a great YouTube channel on a lot of this stuff. So, do I know how I'm going to be able to qualify and represent at least one country in both of these Olympics? No, I don't. Not right now, but I know that I'm going to compete in the Olympics in two of them within the next decade. I also know that I'm going to compete at least in one, but I'm actually setting the goal for competing in two, not one, but two. The goal is to compete in two Ironman competitions, the Tempe, Arizona Ironman and the Hawaii Ironman, which turns out, I set the goal before I even knew that you actually have to qualify for the Hawaii Ironman, unless you get an invitation. I was actually reading up on it this afternoon. So, anyways, if you think that your goals, one of the reasons why I'm sharing my goals, the goals that I decided to commit myself to, because they're my goals. I'm excited about them. I think that's going to be fun. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to grow a lot. I'm going to meet a lot of people. It's going to be wonderful experiences. Like, that's the reason why I'm setting these goals. And these are the goals that are big enough to drive me and to keep me focused and in the game and maintaining that discipline. And on top of that, another goal when it comes to fitness is competing in all natural bodybuilding competitions beginning like in less than 1 year from now. I'll compete in my very first all natural bodybuilding competition. Actually, I set the goal. I have until September 1st. So I have less than 365 days. I had like 363 days as of today. No, sorry, 362 days as of today to complete, achieve this goal, one of my fitness goals of competing in my first all natural bodybuilding competition. And then I'm going to compete every single year. Am I competing to try to look like Arnold? No. I'm competing because I want to build a physique that I want and that I need in order to be optimally performing at the best possible, at the highest possible level that I'm capable in all these different sports of the modern pentathlon. And so I'll be working one on one with at least one bodybuilding coach that's going to help me to build the physique and build the body that is required, that I need in order, and that will help me to basically operate at the highest levels that I'm possibly capable of in all these different sports. But anyways, I was chatting it up with my stepdad, and I mentioned the Ironman because he used to be a triathlete and doing triathlons, and it was his goal to do an Ironman and the Olympics, one day. And so he was actually able to give me good feedback, and he's like, I said, hey, yeah, I will complete two Ironmans. He's like, really? And kind of got excited. I was like, yep, and I'm also going to compete into Summer Olympics in a modern pentathlon. And so he gave me some really good sound advice on what he recommends for me to get started in just training, for these goals, to achieve these goals over the next decade. So, anyways, I mentioned I am sharing these things for one to document it for myself, so I can look back and say, man, I remember when I set those goals, there was no shred of any tangible proof or evidence or reason or any good reason why I should be setting these crazy, outrageously high goals. Like, just absolutely, because right now I'm still morbidly obese. I just weighed in yesterday. I did a live stream. I took my shirt off and taped myself. For some reason, it's not showing up on my Facebook or Instagram channels, but you can go on my YouTube channel and find it. Um, and you can see that I took my shirt off, and I'll take it off again, not today, because I want to go down and grab some dinner with everybody. But I'm sharing these goals for one, so I can document the journey for myself, so I can look back on it and be able to give thanks to God and to glorify Him and to remember that period of my life when I'm looking back 3 months from now, when I'm down, when I've lost, 70, 80, maybe even 100 pounds of fat in a short amount of time, just because I know how to do it. And I know how to do it healthily, even though dropping 100 pounds that fast is probably not great. Even if I don't lose 100 pounds in 3 months, I'm definitely going to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. But even when I'm looking back 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20, maybe even 60 years from now, I'll be able to look back in this period of time and be thankful that I did record this and made these videos. Whether or not anybody ever watches it, it's irrelevant. Because again, I had this idea 10 years ago when I was in grad school that I wish somebody would have documented I wish somebody like Elon Musk would have documented the very beginning when they had nothing, when nobody was paying attention to who they were. No one in the world knew who they were, and then yet they had the courage to put themselves out there and to document things for all the world to see publicly. One, for their own benefit, so they have something tangible that they can reflect back on, like a journal, but a video journal. And then two, you never know who's watching, you never know who's listening. It made you having the courage, me having the courage, somebody having the courage to openly share what they're doing and what they're building and working towards. You just never know how that's going to impact somebody's life, and how that might just be the thing that gets them up off the couch and says, you know what? I'm tired of giving up on myself. I'm tired of not believing in myself. I'm tired of thinking that I'm crazy because of these goals that I really want. You know, people might think that I'm crazy for having these goals, but I really want them, and I think I can achieve them. You just never know how one of these videos might impact them and be the thing that really urges them to take a chance on themselves. So anyways, that's all the main thing I want to talk about for today. Like I said, I have rekindled the fire in the belly and am aggressively starting to go after the things that I know I really want to do in life, and starting to chart my course. But anyways, that's all for today. I'm going to go down and grab a bite to eat. I hope you're all doing well. Until tomorrow, I will be live streaming at 5, the live at 5 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. And then I'll be off on the weekend. But until then, see y'all later. Bye.